E allora buongiorno. Allora Milan-Empoli, let's talk a little bit about the match, see what happened, and my personal, very, very personal ratings for this match. In the end, I think I will put something like positives and negatives for the match, just to change it up a little bit. Also, I will put the ratings in this video as well, so that you can see them. Just a novelty. I'm just gonna try it this way. So obviously, before we start, Milan is seventh, so I am not happy, and I am not overly, let's say, excited by this win. It is what it is, but also we have like a full serie to watch, so we're gonna talk about something, right? The point now for AC Milan is to keep the shape, keep this equilibrium that we finally found, and do not take steps back as usual. Will this happen? I don't know. But let's go on. Let's see what I did like about this game. So the opponent was Empoli, which, to be fair, is not the strongest team in Serie A. And while we did play a good game, Empoli didn't play that well. They had obviously they have like a couple of chances, but that's pretty much it. But we did control the game in the end, and we could get an easy win, which I don't take for granted anymore. So let's talk a little bit about the match. So what is the thing that I liked the most of this match? For me, in particular, even if the shape in the formation, the system was listed as a 4-2-3-1, it was a little bit different in the end. And what I liked most was the position of Leao. I will show you the heat map for Leao now. So this is the heat map from this game. And you can see that Leao was way more involved in this game. He was way more active, was playing basically as a second striker, right? And I do prefer this position a lot. Let's compare it to previous games, for example, like Cagliari or Juventus. You will see that he stays on the left, but I think the perfect position for Leao is the one that we saw in this match, because he's way more involved in the game. He can help with the first pressing, which is something he can do, you know? As a winger, usually his pressing is a little bit lazy, but as a second striker position, he can be more upfront and actually help. Also, he becomes less predictable, because Leao on the wing is gonna do pretty much the same thing. Well, like in the middle, as we saw, he can just like, start from whichever position, can start from here, can go central, and can just like do an acceleration, and he's gonna find himself here. And this is confusing for the opponents too, because they don't know what Leao is gonna do instead of being just here. And when Leao is playing like more tucked in the half space, we did see, for example, Reijnders coming in, but also Theo. Theo was being like the Leao of the situation at times, even if in this game didn't attack too much. So this is the thing that I like the most, tactically speaking, and I wish to see Leao doing this more, because Leao like this can help a lot more. What did change in this match? We had balance. That's it. This game was a lot closer to the Real Madrid game than you think, because when we were defending, Emerson in the fog, yeah, I will explain this to you later. But when we were defending, Musah was basically acting as a fifth in the line, right? Pulisic, for example, will come down, Fofana in the middle, and will become like a 5-3-2 or a 5-4-1, depending on the situations. Morata will come back a lot, right? So this is very similar to what we did with Real Madrid. And the key here is to have basically more men in the midfield, in this case Musah, and not keeping our defensive line too high. It was still a little bit high, but Not as usual. So we don't need to be that high. So I think Fonseca understood this, even if he said that we cannot play like Real Madrid. But I think we can. We play on the counter pressing, all this stuff, and our players did their job very well. Fofana did an amazing job. Usually, Fofana is like never goes too high. Usually, he stays here and then cover for whoever is missing. For example, we saw a lot of the times Emerson going up in attack, and Fofana is like just very, very solid. The problem is that we don't have a substitute for Fofana, and Loftus-Cheek cannot play in Fofana's position. So that is a problem that if we can fix in January, I'll be very happy. A part of the negatives that I will talk to you about later is this, that we don't have substitutes for these two guys in particular, because they have to play every game, especially Fofana. Fofana cannot miss a game. He cannot miss a game. Otherwise, we lose so much in the midfield as a cover. Speaking of cover, right? Let's go with the votes just one by one. We'll try to explain. Magic Mike, I'll give him 6 because he did nothing. So he was picnicking on the pitch and didn't have to say. He was attentive as usual, but just a 6. Emerson in the fog. Oh, this is a joke. It's a stupid joke. My humorism is weird. Emerson played probably his best game in AC Milan against Empoli. We're always talking about the game against Empoli, so I'm not forgetting that. I'm not getting overly excited, but he did play a good game. He got beaten once, I think, only the first half, and that's pretty much it. He helped attacking, and in defense, it was okay. Is he recovered and now is a great player? No, I wish we had other fullbacks, but we got what we got, so I'll give him a 6.5 to Emerson in the fog. It's in the fog because during the match there was like a pretty much heavy fog, and a lot of the times you could not see clearly the players, and I am afraid that the best performance of Emerson Real is gonna be unseen by the people because of the fog. Yeah, it's a stupid joke. Okay, let's go with the next one. So Gabbia and Thiaw. Gabbia and Thiaw, I will give a 6.5 to both. They played a chill game, but they were attentive. As I said before, the defensive line of AC Milan wasn't too high, and they were pretty much like attentive and doing their job, because like one of the problems that I saw, at least, as always, is the midfield that is kinda easy to pass. You saw that if Milan fails the first pressing with the attacking players, the other team can cut through the midfield like very, very easily. And we saw that like at some time it was like a table tennis kind of thing, pam, 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 right? So I wish we can fix that. But because of the defensive line not being too overly high, every player could recover and every player would recover. God, we saw like Morata here to recover a ball. So 6.5 to for both of them. They did a good game. Theo is the one that I liked less in this defense. No harm, no foul. It's just like a game. He played a game. So a 6, I think, is good enough. I'm not gonna talk about the gossip about Theo because I don't want to, and I don't know the situation and what's happening. So until I can talk about it if there are all the pieces of it, but I want to avoid talking about this stuff and just talking about football in general. So let's go to the midfield. Beautiful midfield. Fofana 7.5. As I said in the previous video, his intelligence in not getting a yellow card is something worth noting, because if we miss him against Atalanta, then it is going to be trouble. So great game from Fofana, was always in the right position, always covering, playing as basically as a pivot here, while Reijnders could go on and be more free to do what he does, so like attack the box, and do the box-to-box things that he likes. Reijnders, absolute man of the match. Reijnders is the money ball that is paying off. The algorithm was right about Reijnders. So he gets a 9. Like the the Reijnders we're seeing recently is just something amazing, something truly amazing, and I'm happy for it. I just hope they don't sell Reijnders, because the offers, he will get offers. He will get offers, and AC Milan will get offers. Can we keep him? I sure hope so, because if we sell him, I'm gonna get pretty much upset. Let's go into our attackers. Leao, I talked about Leao before. I liked Leao in this match. It's a new role. It's kind of a new role, but I think I want to see Leao in this role more than just a winger. In this role, Leao can create so much danger. Then it's just a beauty. It's a beauty. In this match, he did quite some mistakes, and he has to work on his finalizing. We keep saying that, but and I think he knows it. But he has to work on his finalizing to score more. But like sometimes he tries to do stuff that is kind of too hard to do, and it's not the right moment to do that kind of stuff, like tricks and back heels and that kind of stuff. So he tried a bunch of stuff that some worked, some didn't work, but he is experimenting. Let's say he's experimenting, so all good. Pulisic, I will give him a 6.52. He was a little bit greedy in some situations, but then Pulisic he's everywhere. Where do you find a player like Pulisic that does so much and is so decisive for the team? Because we have to thank Pulisic if we are 7th. That's terrible to say. We have to thank Pulisic if we are not in an even worse position than 7th in Serie A, because Pulisic does everything. Attacks, comes back and plays as a mezzala, helps defending, helps attacking, assists, goals, creativity, is just a top player. Pulisic. Even when he doesn't play the best games, Pulisic is a player that cannot miss a game for us. He has to play. Pulisic has to play. Musah, he played a good game. I wish he was a little bit more technical. Certainly he can learn, he can grow, because he's still young. He did his job of covering, so he was watching Emerson RRRR and helping him defending. So when Emerson RRRR will tuck in basically and become a 5th in defense. And I like the solidity that this gives us. If Emerson RRRR loses the man, then Musah can help cover, or that's like the balance that we never saw. So we finally found a balance, and it's December, so it's a bit late, to be honest, but we did find a balance. So a good game from Musah. Like, this job could have been done also by Saelemaekers. And Saelemaekers might have been good with Fonseca, Actually, Saelemaekers was good. If you remember the summer, the pre Serie A things, the training and everything, and the match that we saw, Saelemaekers was actually very good. Too bad that they chose to give him for Abraham. Now that's just like a loan, so there is no contract that says that they have to buy Saelemaekers or we have to buy Abraham. So in my heart, I hope we give Abraham back to Rome. We take Saelemaekers back. We could find like something better, but Saelemaekers that we saw was good, and for the job that Fonseca wants his player to do, is perfect. Because I don't see this management, sacking the coach, even if we keep doing a bad Serie A. So it's too late anyway. So that said, we should definitely sell Loftus-Cheek and Chukwueze in January and get other players like Ricci, for example, to cover, because Loftus-Cheek, fortunately, he doesn't cut it in this. And then we go to Morata. Morata 7. He scored a goal, which is good, because Morata doesn't score much, but when he scores, I'm happy, because he can at least give us, usually he scores, 15 goals? That's his average, like 13 to 15. That is good. I was happy for him to score and help the team, because I did say before that he helps, but then we don't score. In this case, he helped and scored, so nothing more that I can ask from him. And these are my positive and negatives to the game. Yeah, the graphic sucks because I'm not particularly good at making graphics. But so positives: Leao's position, the fact that we found an equilibrium, a balance, and I hope we keep this balance. We have to keep this balance. We don't have to do steps back now. That's the whole point, right? The attitude of the team, the way that the players wanted to win this game, all good, the coach, everything, and just Reijnders. Reijnders just like a positive. It's a positive for AC Milan, just all good from Reijnders. And the negatives definitely, the midfield is still easy to cut, and we saw that. And if a team can orchestrate a good counter-attack, then we can be potentially be in trouble. The fact that we have no sub for Fofana and Co. So Fofana Reijnders, they can't miss a game, and that's problematic. But if we can go until January and get some worthwhile substitute, then it's going to be much better. This is a thing that is not really tied to this game, the next thing, the free kick specialist thing, but it's a thing that I've noticed recently. Is like when there's a free kick, we don't have a specialist. Right? There is not a player that can kick and be dangerous. You know, it's like a Pirlo, okay? For example, I wish we could have somebody that can create that danger, because when we do have a free kick to take, we struggle and we rarely, if ever, score through those. And another negative that is more of a general thing is that when I watch games like this, I still wish we kept Kalulu, because Kalulu could have done the role of Emerson and Calabria much better. But that's what it is. Let me know if you notice something different, if you have other positives, negatives, or if you disagree or strongly disagree with me. Now we have Atalanta, and Atalanta is a completely different team, obviously, from Empoli, and Atalanta is a big team. Is strong. Atalanta is strong. So we have to face Atalanta with the right attitude, with the right balance. We need to have balance against Atalanta, okay? Let's see how that match go. Ciao, ciao.